warm welcome to Disky Talk with Luyolo. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I do ask that you please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you've been a part of this journey, I hope you thoroughly enjoy this episode. So, on today's episode, I'm joined by broadcasting royalty as we celebrate the journey of Nono Vele. Before we get into it, I'd like to introduce my guest. As I did mention, I am joined by royalty. Temba, how are you?
I'm good, myself. My lord.
I've actually got a story.
Is that so?
Yes.
Tell
You know
me.
where I met you?
No.
I met you at the commentary auditions. We were
What?
both in the final.
2015.
Yeah, I was 18 then. But anyway, Lerato,
I'm well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. No?
Hello.
You're back.
I'm back.
We're 10.
Yup. I said to you, I want part 2, part 3, part 4.
Yeah.
And here I am.
No, don't worry. It's home, yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free. Karao, how you doing, bro?
I'm alright yourself.
All is well, all is well. So, the best place to start then, when it comes to storytelling, is obviously at the beginning. So, I'll swing this question to you. When you look at your journey and how you started, what are some of the experiences which were key with regards to you adapting?
I think for me, the most important thing was coming to myself. That was the most important thing when it comes to storytelling. And by that, I mean embracing my purpose, understanding who I am, understanding my gifts and my contribution to the world. Because I'm a kind of person who wants to leave a lasting legacy. And when I look at the people around me today, it brings such joy to my heart. Because this is exactly what I envisioned, being able to impart to other people's lives and make a real difference.
Temba?
Man, how you want to throw me like...
Drops mine.
Look, to add to what you just said now, I mean, that is this essence who she is. She's a builder. Visionary as well. Because what she just said now, I mean, we were part of this process.
Yeah.
2015, you mentioned that as she was there.
Yeah.
She was sitting there in the panel as well. So she saw something. But it's one thing to see it.
So you didn't see something in me? Nah, I'm joking. Hey, I'm joking. Hey,
I was 18.
Yeah. He still needed to grow up. Yeah.
It's one thing to see it, it's another to polish it.
Yeah.
And then it speaks to her consistency over the years. Just keep polishing it. And eventually, there's a diamond there.
Yeah.
So I think without that consistency and vision and belief in something, we wouldn't be sitting here, truth be told.
Yeah. But now I want you to sort of give me a background into your journey, and how you came about into broadcasting.
I came from a rich family. My dad.
Trust fund, baby.
I grew up in a shack. It's ironic actually. I was telling somebody this story. 2000 and something. I was walking in a mall with a friend of mine, and there was a booth, Supersport booth, commentary auditions. So my friend is like, "Yo, you're a journalist. You got a decent voice. Go try it." So I remember I sat down. I see the guy's like, "You got a nice voice, but we'll call you." Never happened. Full circle years later, there man, Nono Trele Sizo Mapena Baba Mtetwa, and true commentator. And I've been here 7 years now.
Wow.
So it's so funny that it was like God was showing me what's to come, and I just didn't know. I mean, I think not accidentally, but the career I'm in, I think was always destined.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I just didn't know it because I've always been into sports, but when the athlete's body kind of died away, the broadcasting mind was born from there. So I don't think I'm here by accident, man.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
God's plan.
And Karawa, would you say that you're also destined for it?
I think so. I think so as well. But my journey started quite different from them. I played the game as well. I played for Vets. I played for Pirates. I played for the national team.
Barcelona.
Wow. Really? So I think after that, seeing that at the time when I was starting out, I think my parents were not too supportive in regards to, what was happening at the time. I was talking to guys, they were already going off the rails, and they said, no, we're not going to support you in terms of that. So I decided to go to varsity after varsity, and then that's where the life of broadcasting started. And I actually failed an audition for Blitz, actually.
Yeah.
They took Fizo Masibuka. So, but I think at that time for me, I was still young. The bright lights.
Like you were still young.
Very young. The bright lights were too much.
But you know what? I got my own show now.
Turning full circle.
Yeah, varsity.
So I think when I felt that the audition, that's where I started working on myself. Started going to press conferences on my own, getting used to the players, getting used to the coaches as well. They are attending a lot of football matches. And for me, another person that played a key role in my life was Pito. I met him in September.
The coach, Pito Mosimane.
Yeah.
Let's make sure. Maybe there's a Pito Dada in the space. Pito Mosimane.
No. The Pito. So he helped me a lot. I spoke to him a lot in terms of what is it that I want to do. I asked him for a job at Sundowns. Now already going, not yet. So I think my journey for me has also been quite interesting.
Yeah. So what would you say the transition was like? Because when it comes to the broadcasting space, we don't see a lot who have played the game, then make the transition, but you have played before.
Yeah.
So what would you say that transition was like?
Oh, it was difficult, particularly with the lady on my right.
Yeah.
I was working with TV. We had a show there on a Monday.
Yeah.
There she comes. Call time was 10 o'clock. I was there early. She comes to me, is like, this is not so into TV. Yes,
that's like something you would say.
She doesn't even say hi.
No, but I wouldn't. No. Are you sure you remember this correctly?
Yes. 8 September 2021, Tax Stadium. I do.
Yeah.
So, that's what she said to me. This is not so into TV. The standards of Supersport are quite different. Even the way you stand, the way you hold the mic. She didn't even say hi. So after the conversation, Simo says to me, "You'll get used to her."
Yeah.
And that's how it began for me.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
Yes.
Terrible story.
Horrible story.
I think one thing that is clear for me is I think I'm honestly surrounded by people that have great tenacity, because I feel like all of us, we failed at the first chance we got. I was there 2014 for the auditions. I'm quite shocked that you're saying you remember Timber 2015 but you don't remember me. I was actually the only lady that made it to the final group, and I remember we were celebrating for Timber, and if the rejection wasn't enough then, I still came back for more. 2016. But 2016 was just that year, man, and I feel I had so much time to just work on myself and work on my craft, and I think Soweto TV played a big role, because that's where I learned how to hold the mic, my confidence. So that when I got to the audition, I was very sure about where I am and what I needed to do, and I feel like a lot of people get so lost in everything that happens during the audition, but if you had psychologically prepared yourself, then it becomes a bit easy. But that's where the journey started, and then you make it through Disky Challenge, but it wasn't easy, Temba, because you honestly, for me, I had a background of, he has journalism, he played, for me it was sports management and sports administration, and then you're wondering, how do I merge the two? How do I then forget the theory, forget everything that I've learned, forget PR, forget marketing, think about psychology and everything else, and now I need to come into this world where I did not really go to school for it, and I'm expected to learn on the job.
Yeah.
So it was quite a big challenge, but I think honestly we took the opportunity. Everyone that's sitting here took the opportunity and ran and never looked back.
You know what's dope with you?
Yeah.
Like I just realized I went to school and studied it. I always thought you studied journalism.
Yeah.
But that speaks to
Passion.
Yeah.
her ability to always want to improve.
Yeah.
She still has it till today. Like I remember we visited her at her house, and she showed us a study. And I was sitting there, I was quietly just having this. I was like, this is so Lerato, like I feel inspired. Like this is what there's a saying, true passion is what you do when no one is looking.
Yeah.
So in that
Watching,
moment,
rather.
you know what I mean? So I realized, I was sitting, I'm like, this is why
people say you're not ready for something.
So I realized in that moment, I'm like, this is where the real magic happens. Not when the cameras are on. When she's by herself, probably not no makeup, nothing. I was like, man, I feel inspired now. So
Thank you, Tim. That's where you win the challenge, and I think a lot of people forget you're on TV for literally a couple of minutes, but it's about weeks of preparation to make sure you know what to say, when to say it, when to use your research, and how to say it. Tim was very right. So if a lot of people think you get to work when you get to work, no. When you get to the stadium, that's the final 10 miles, you know, but you've been preparing. Exactly. You know, we get to work at 4:30 and people only see us at like 11, 12, you know, 1 o'clock. But we've been at it. But it just speaks about TV. You must forever be ready because literally any minute can be a life-changing minute for your moment.
Yeah. And I like what Lerato is saying. I think you also mentioned it about the work that you have to do on yourself. And I think the kind of work that we do, there's a lot of work that you do privately, alone on yourself, because there's a lot of rejection that comes with this work. There's a lot of, I mean, people nitpick. I don't like this. Why did you do that? It's so easy from the outside to just do all of that, you know, and you forget that there are people behind the work, you know, and then we need to go home and regroup and remember you are more than just a broadcaster. You are somebody's partner, you are somebody's sibling, you are somebody's daughter, son, you know. So I like that aspect of working on yourself because I am an avid believer that you always have to consistently work on you. Because if you have a deep understanding of who you are as a person, then you are able to bounce back at any given time.
Can I just say, Nono's favorite line is, and I remember she said this to me when we were sitting down, it was our first mentor and mentee session, and she said to me, you will never arrive. Never in your wildest dream ever think when you've done the biggest production, when you've done, I've arrived. You have that chip on your shoulder. You will never arrive, because now she speaks about the work that needs to go there. And I need to tell the story because she's sitting here. My first Disney production where I was tasked.
By the way, before Lee even tells the story, you guys have a terrible memory. I just want to say.
And
she called me village on my face.
Listen, wait, this village. Let me tell you about this. So you know, you get your opportunity. You have to do a link. You have to ask. It was actually after I think the whole production, and I'd done post-match interviews, and she said then she was like,
"We're not doing that."
Never in my wildest dream have I ever seen this. Like, what's going on? And I remember the way I was so distraught, the way I was so broken, and this was a Saturday, and I needed to come back on a Sunday, and I got home and I cried, and I was like, no, I think they can do this without me on a Sunday because TV is not for me. Clearly it's not for me. But when Temba speaks about Nono being a builder, she needed to destroy everything to rebuild this masterpiece that she can only see. At that point in time, I didn't see it in myself. I didn't even think I had it in myself. So it was like, okay, after this, then what? But she knew I still had more to offer. And it was now my homework to go back, reflect. And then as soon as now the work started coming in, and then she sat me down, she was like, okay, this is where you were going wrong. This is where you're going right. This is the route that you must take. But it started with her destroying me to build it, because had she not done that, I think I would have been in a position where I would have taken a lot of things for granted. And I needed that one-on-one. I needed for someone. It's so important because we work in an environment where when you make a mistake, millions see it. And sometimes, you know, a lot of things, you know, get left behind. And it's so important to have that one person that has listened attentively, paying attention, and can call you aside to make note of certain things. Because usually, by the time, you know, she wants to talk, social media has already said something about it. Everyone has said something to say about it. But when you honestly know that you have someone with a very sound mind, you have someone that you can trust, you have someone that will always be honest with you. We are living in an environment where sometimes you can get conflicted between what is happening and what people are saying about you on social media. So easy to get lost in everything.
So one thing I've come to learn about broadcasting is that from the outside looking in, we see the glitz. Sorry?
You need a tissue. You look teary-eyed.
No.
You good, brother?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So from the outside looking in, people get to see the end product. You know, and people get to see how beautiful you guys look, but people never actually get to understand the full magnitude of the challenges that you guys face. So that is what I'd like for you guys to go into depth with, because I think that is what actually makes you guys, because she's touched on quite a couple of things, with regards to how she'd go home and cry. And yeah, so what are some of the challenges that you guys face in broadcasting?
Yeah, I think for me, when I started at Supersport, I'd left Soto TV.
You were there when I was there? Or you came in after? Okay, cool.
For me, I think one of the biggest challenges that I faced was the clothing that I'm going to wear, because this is Supersport. I've always wanted to be there. It took me 7 years.
That was his biggest challenge?
No, listen, bro.
What's wrong?
I think this is point number one.
Point, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We're still warming up.
No.
Remember, we're on camera. You're at the. You can wear face the commentator.
No, it's why he didn't play. He doesn't understand. We need build up.
So I think for me it was that what is it that I'm going to wear? How am I going to look? I was dry. I think I went home. I spoke to my parents, and in 2 days I'm going to start my dream job at Supersport. So please help me. And my mom cried. She prayed for me. Like, no, here's my card. Go buy one.
Listen, Mureki, go swipe. I'm swiping.
Swipe on my
And Nono told me this, the last production.
Yeah.
We've got a guy, Karabo. He's trying, and okay, his style is okay. But I've been trying. What is this? That was the first big compliment that I got from 2 weeks of working with her.
Yeah.
But it meant a lot to me. That at least the effort is being seen, appreciated.
She noticed.
Exactly. So yeah, I think for me that was an eye opener, particularly to the sport.
He's still talking about wardrobe.
No, it's fine. Let's give you an opportunity to get into real challenges.
And I remember your those Scotches pants. I remember.
Yes, it was like navy, light blue.
Horrible. Remember that?
I remember.
Whose pants is this?
Okay.
No, anyway. Struggles. I think for me, I'm a perfectionist. So I always want to be the best that I can be. So sometimes I compare myself, I think, with other people, and I shouldn't do that. So my struggles are more mental. So I sit there and I'm like, yo, you should have set the slide like this. You should have done it like that.
Yeah.
So I'm very critical of that, and I think that for me has been my biggest struggle. I'm constantly always trying to improve, constantly trying to improve, because it's one thing to arrive, but it's another to stay. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we've been at Supersport for as long as we have, because it's a revolving door of talent. Trust me, there's thousands of people that want to take my spot, but you're gonna have to fight hard to take it. So I think mentally, and the probably even bigger than that for me is rationing your time. When to be a father, when to be a son, when to be a broadcaster. Like it's very difficult to balance all of this. You'll find sometimes, because we spend so much time on the road, that one part of your life will lag. You come home, the kids are sleeping. You leave, they're sleeping.
Balance.
They haven't seen you in a week or some change, and you're in the house. You know what I mean? So balancing your life and your work is very difficult. But it's a work in progress. I think those are kind of the challenges that I faced.
I'd say individuality. I think in a space where it is filled with so many people that are talented, to find yourself, to be able to assert yourself. And I think also being a woman, because of now, it is easy for people to look at you and say, oh, you're trying to do this too much, you're trying to be that person. But to be in a position where people can relate to you as an individual.
While you being yourself.
Exactly, while you being yourself. And I think that was the biggest task. And I remember Nono saying this to me, and I wrote it in big letters. I think Temba must have seen it in my study, where she said, who are you? And that question hit so deep. And she said, if you don't know who you are, how are people at home going to relate to you? Because you are supposed to, then every chance you get on screen, you're supposed to show people who you are. And I think that was, the consistent thing that came across with everyone that I spoke to prior to my Supersport audition. And I said, what do they want? And they said, you. Don't try and be anybody else. You. And when years went by, then Nono kept on saying, up until you find who you are, then people will be able to relate to you. Then I needed to ask myself, am I comfortable with myself? Am I happy with my delivery? Who am I?
Yeah.
What type of questions do I ask? What's my style? What's my presenting style?
Yeah.
And also I realized that I can't separate the Lerato of camera to the Lerato that's on camera.
Yeah.
It's just that I need to mold it in a certain way, but I can't automatically change. I can't flip a switch and I'm a different person altogether, because she wanted people to see parts of me that I've been shutting people out of. And every time I'd go on screen, I'd be this journalist, I'd be hardcore, I'd be this person. But off screen, I'm just a chilled girl. And now people don't understand which is which, and I feel like I needed to work on that. So I definitely say,
It's funny, she always say that too. You're too serious.
Yeah.
You're too serious. Smile. Enjoy yourself.
And I consistently said that to Lerato. I was like, Lerato, we need to get you to a point where you are happy.
Yeah. Always used to say
Because remember, we buy in to you being happy because that's real, that's authentic. So we need you to be happy. Smile, not because I'm telling you to smile, but because it's coming from the inside.
Yeah.
you're happy to be here, you're happy for this moment, you must be present. I think TV, there's one thing about it, you must be present in the moment because it quickly goes by, literally in a flash. And if you're unable to be your true and authentic self, then it's all a waste at the particular moment. And you know, whether you're a Karabo and you're anxious about your first gig, or you're Lerato and maybe you've got a couple of years under your belt, more than anything, be alive, be present in the moment, because you don't know what's happening on the other side of the camera. You don't know what the person is going through that's watching you, and you need to give that person hope. You need to show people that you're actually blessed to be given an opportunity to do what you love. And I think with every production, that's what it gives you. Every production is different. You can never compare any production to the one that has gone by or the one that is still coming. Every production poses different challenges, but it's in finding the happiness. It's an understanding that this is a once-in-a-lifetime type opportunity.
So with you, Nona, you've been on both sides of the coin. You're on the come-up, you face the challenges, and that you are now in a position of leadership, but you still face challenges. What are the differences?
The difference is, I would say more than anything, it's trusting the vision. I think coming up, I was very uncertain of what the vision was or where I was trying to get to. And it's easy to think, if I get to this level, then I have achieved, I have then made my name. But beyond that, what is the legacy?
What are you leaving behind?
What is the legacy? What are we doing this for? Because it must have meaning, because your life has meaning. You know? And if we are not working to leave an impact on generations to come, then we really need to ask ourselves some very serious questions. If we are not intentionally building and empowering those who will come after us, then what are we doing? Because I want to know, like, Lerato can stand on my shoulders. Somebody else must stand on Lerato's shoulders, and so forth.
And achieve greater heights.
Correct. And we need to build really strong leaders who are not threatened. I love the success around this room. I love hearing the stories around this room, and I love to see how people how far they've come and how much more there's still yet to do. And that needs to be okay for me to clap for Lerato, clap for Karabo, clap for Temba, and clap for anyone in my circle. It's very important. The vision matters. And when you are not clear on the vision, I think when I was starting up, I was like, okay, cool. If I can ever be a director, then I would have. But now, I'm just like, you were thinking way too small. You know, because there's a calling on our lives. There's a calling on my life, and I take that very seriously. You know, and I'm grateful to have had an impact on the people around me. And I think I've said this before, and I will always say it. I ask for excellence, and at any cost, I ask for excellence.
You do not ask, you demand.
I demand it.
She demands for excellence on every front.
Yeah.
But you know what's interesting with her in terms of the leadership thing? I think she knows which buttons to press for different people. Like Nono knows with me, Nono will give me a compliment. She'll be like,
yeah.
guess what? The
Hard hitting.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show
Hard
you.
hitting. Yes.
Instead of coming on, tell me you're
Yes,
the man.
yes.
I don't want that, man.
Yeah.
She knows. She's like, this one I need to clap on him, and then his fire will burn. maybe Karabo is more.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
a different type. So I noticed that.
I think that speaks to the leadership aspect from Nono.
Yeah.
She makes sure that she learns every trait, because the way you relate to Lerato is not the same way you relate to Karabo and Temba, and that's what you need from someone in a position of leadership. It's not a one size fits all type situation. You cannot have that, because more than anything we are creators, and how we go on about our work is very different. So kudos to that, Nono. You know which buttons. She knows. She knows. You know, she knows. Okay, yeah.
She knows that. This one.
Let me press this
the
one.
delivery is whack. That's a good line.
Where did you get that? Who told you that line is the one?
I'm writing other lines.
Yeah.
But I must say, it wasn't always easy, because I used to apologize for that for a long time in my life. I mean, I started in this industry when I was 20 years old. It's 15 years later. And I used to doubt it quite a bit. You know, I used to think, oh, maybe I need to tone down. And I was told this by a lot of people along the way. You need to tone down. You need to, you know, be more quieter or be softer like this. And that made me someone that I was not. And I think that's why my journey has taken this long, because I apologized for so long. Yeah. Because I thought something needs to be fixed about me, not knowing that I was robbing myself and the people around me. But in 2013, when I got tired of the apologizing, then something said, right, you are ready. And the opportunities came to me, you know, and the people were drawn to me. Because I was done apologizing, I was done trying to put myself in a cage that was not even big enough to contain all that I am. Yeah. And I just allowed myself to be, you know.
And also, in addition to what she's saying in regards to her leading and managing us, is that what she's got is a gift for her to be able to speak to each and everyone in a certain way. Not everyone can do that. Yeah. It takes me back to when I was playing Augusto Palacios. You know, for me, I was one of the laziest players, but very good.
The boy is lazy.
In terms of passing, so it's similar traits to Augusto Palacios. You know, all right, Karabo is not okay. Listen, you can do this and this. Temba, he's arrogant, you can see. So you can't really say to him, look, you've done good. You've got to keep on.
No, so today you gave us 60%.
Exactly, it's a gift that she has. Not everyone has that. So that's also something that I also commend her for. I always tell her that you gifted.
It's a calling, Karabo. I think I concur with the sentiments when she says this is not just a job. And I think when sometimes people separate the job and the calling, but we are so blessed when you can find someone that can be able to merge the two, when the two are aligned with each other, where it's a calling first. Before it's a job, it's a calling to empower, to nurture, to ensure that people get to see better versions of themselves. And I think that's why she's always so strict on us, because she believes and she sees something in us to say, this is not it. Whatever that you were thinking, you can do so much more. And if you're going to go home and you're content with average, then it means there's something wrong with you. And that's the type of person she is, to say we can never settle for average. And I think when you work with her, like I was saying, she demands it of you. You know, and if you get to production and you're not ready to give it, it will show. Because that is the standard. That's what we work towards. Excellence and nothing more.
Average doesn't build legacies.
No.
Please continue on that story.
I think another thing.
Average doesn't build legacy.
Do you see why I'm always on his case?
It's really average doesn't build
legacy. True.
I think another thing, I see so much more in you guys. I see where you could be, where I wish you could be. I see what's possible for you guys, and that's why I push you guys as much as I do, because I believe in you guys, and I need you guys to tell other people, other generations after you guys, what we did. You know, it's not enough for me as an individual to do great. I need you guys to do great, because you will have access to spaces and to people that I might never have access to. So my sole responsibility is to do a good job with you guys and with everyone who comes into my space, and those people must do likewise to other people. And that's how we begin the process of fixing and healing and becoming excellent people. You know, and I discovered that for myself, that, you know, I might not be able to do other things, but the one thing that I can do is
I will
this,
perfect it.
and I will perfect it, and I demand that excellence, because we need to become people of excellence, you know. And it starts with us, because if we refuse to settle for average, people will look at us and they'll say that there's something different here, and that's exactly what we're going for.
So, what are some of the joys then of broadcasting? We've touched on the challenges.
Temper, please.
So, are you really in the house when you say you're in the
Nothing about that. Creating something out of nothing.
Yeah.
That for me that's the joy I get. You can create to elevate. Oh man, it's just dropping out of me.
You're oozing.
Out of my pores, man. No, and you know, to work with people like we in this room. I mean, I was even thinking now, but you said you were at the auditions in 2015. It could have been easy for you to quit. But here you are, you have your own show now.
Yeah, can we give this man a round of applause?
Check with me in your mail. So to work with really dope people, man, that for me is inspiring, and it's a joy, and to create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
That for me,
Yeah.
no groupies.
Not yet, anyway. Garabo?
Or is it?
Yeah.
All right. No, I think for me the opportunities that I'm now getting. That's that for me, because I've always there's one word that you also taught me. I think I've always knew it, but not the word. Is intentional with what is it that you want to become. I've always seen myself as a brand, and that's why now I'm getting a couple of opportunities from brands that I'm working with now, and wow.
The boy is brand.
So I think for me, opportunities that I'm getting away from Supersport, they humble me. They humble me. And this is also, God's blessings that, listen, you've always wanted to do this after all the rejections, the tears, but at the end of the tunnel, there's light, there's everything. Working with these human beings, I mean, for me, it's a blessing. Yeah.
For me, I'd say to wake up every morning and realize how blessed you are to be living your dream. I think when I started at Soweto TV and I was shooting match reviews literally outside my house, and with my mother watching over, and a couple of the neighbors, but now she's joined by millions. But to be in that position where you wake up every morning and there's just that fire burning deep in the belly of the beast. And to realize just how blessed I am. I think every morning I express thoughts of gratitude, because that's exactly what it is, to be living your dream. I think at some stage I thought, oh my goodness, in what world can Lerato Phago be a Supersport presenter? Before getting into the space, and you're like, that's never going to be possible. Like, forget about the dream. It is never going to be possible. And to wake up every morning and realize that actually I'm living the dream, and if anything, I need to even work harder, because these opportunities literally don't come by that often. And to wake up every morning and understand that you're surrounded by greatness, you understand that greatness is expected from you, and to understand that you need to deliver on greatness. I think for me that's the biggest joy, to wake up and realize that actually, even if I was given a choice to do something else, I wouldn't take it, because this is honestly something I really, really love.
Sure, that's powerful. I think for me the joy is just being able to make an impact in other people's lives. That for me always gives me so much warmth. And to see you guys grow, I don't think you guys know how meaningful that is to me. I think it's also the reason why we have the relationships that we do, because I care about you. Beyond work, I care about you as individuals. I care about your growth. I care about how you are feeling emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That's very meaningful to me, and I'm proud of the work that you've put in. I'm proud of the commitment, and I want to thank you guys for trusting me. I think that's such, yeah.
Respond to the WhatsApp messages, bro. No,
But no, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for seeing something that we never saw in ourselves. Thank you for seeing something that I think maybe some people could have seen, but they never had the patience to wait for the process. You were patient with the process. You were patient with us. You believed. You worked at it. And it's one thing to believe in someone and think, no, they'll figure life out. But I still think you're very talented. Like, take nothing away from it. But you will figure it out. But to consistently be there through every milestone, to be there, to continue supporting, to continue shaping us into the broadcasters that we are today. I think that requires a special skill that you possess. And again, like Garabo says, it's a calling.
Yeah, the cameraman, I think. Are you okay, Pete?
So, guys, I want us to have a look at one moment that has stood out for you in your career, and then what is one thing you'd like to achieve? We'll start with you, Garab.
I think for me, I'd start with the last question. What is it that I want to achieve? I think for me is to create another Garabo Pasha. This doesn't end with me. I was given an opportunity by a lot of people. I should also, hand over the Benton. And currently, there's a young boy. He's 15 from Lesotho. I'm speaking to him. He's asking a lot of questions. How can I become an analyst? How can I be on TV? And I'm also telling him, the difficult part of being in this, because there's some things that on social media I can't say anymore. Because now I'm representing a big brand, I'm becoming a brand as well. So it's not just about the fleshy stuff of being on TV. But then for me, when everything is said and done, it's just to say I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself. I've done everything that I could. I've worked hard. I've established myself, and now is the time to hand over the baton to someone else. The next Garabo, the next Temba, the next Lerato. You can't replace us, so there won't be the next one. It's just leaving a legacy and leaving, the next Garabo, giving him the next opportunity for him to become what he wants to become as well.
And a moment that stands out for you in your career thus far?
Yeah,
working with me,
holding that mic.
Yeah.
I think for me, 7 years of wanting to be part of Supersport, the rejections, the cries. I remember for me, on going to match days on my own, I'd lie to my dad on Wednesday or Thursday, please give me money for petrol, I want to go for a job interview. But I was going to matches. That's how I wanted this. And I think for me, holding that mic, 8th of September.
That heavy mic. Can we just say there's a very heavy mic. Like the pressure, the minute you take it from the audio assistant and it's in your head, do you understand the power? Hey!
Not everybody can hold it.
Yes. As you said, there's 1,000 more ones.
They want to take you
so
up.
I think for me, the 8th of September will forever be,
it's special. It's special.
And also my brother's birthday, so I'll never forget it.
Remember the first day?
All right, Timba.
What stands out for me? I've done a lot of stuff. Done a lot.
I'm trying to do
but
that as well.
I think doing the Kosafa final, doing Bafana game.
Just before he goes on, he always says to me that I'm like, what's the biggest game that you've done so far? I'm like, I think possibly, the DDC. I've done CAF, son.
But no lies detected though.
No lies
detected. Can I just
check him as the plastics fan? Yeah, I think that sticks out for me. Doing international teams, that was pretty dope. What was the second question again?
What would you like to achieve?
What would I like to achieve? I think break boundaries for the next generation. It's quite similar to his. It's one thing to just do it for yourself, but it's much bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's what you realize when you're in the space and you get an opportunity to break boundaries and make the world a better place than you found it. I think for me, for the next generation. So make it. Jay-Z has a beautiful line. It took me 30 years to find my path. My job is to cut yours in half.
Woo!
Jay-Z now. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question now.
Yeah. But that's Vartor Klua for war school.
Push boys high.
All right.
But I love the honesty. You could have easily took that line and used it as
Yeah,
your
you know
own.
what I mean? I got lines. She called me a genius.
But you know what they say? Checks over stripes.
Ooh, checks.
All right.
Money. Wow, I'll start with Gunnar King, the one that he ended with. What's the question?
What would you like to achieve?
What would I like to achieve? But he answered the biggest thing he's done thus far.
Say World Cup.
No, but
I was thinking that World Cup.
why are we staying at the World Cup?
I want the World Cup. What's bigger than the World Cup, bro?
Okay.
Welcome
but
to
no,
Kosovo.
but no, there's still more.
Yeah.
But also it depends on the part that you see for yourself, and I think sometimes that's where people tend to blur the lines a bit. So I'll start with the one about what was the first
I
question?
knew you forgot the question.
What's
The
the
way I know
biggest
it
thing
so
you've
well.
done?
And what you like to achieve? Yes, that's the one I wanted to start with. But not because you answer questions in your own way. What I'd still like to achieve, I think Timber wrapped it up nicely. I think we'd still like to shatter ceilings. I think we don't want to limit ourselves. I think we want to show the next generation that it is possible.
Don't
All
the
of it.
Lamborghini, no one can finish it.
I'm
joking.
You know what? I'm joking. Uno had this as a WhatsApp status, and I was like, yes, it would look great in a Range Rover. Hey, guys,
Did you see that?
I saw it, so please, I do want a Lamborghini. You know, I want to fly first class, everything.
But get onto that philosophical generation.
Yeah. But listen, money first, guys, please. But I think more than anything, I think when you work as a team, you understand that for all of us to achieve, that is the ultimate achievement. It is never about you as Lerato. It is about all of us having great work, all of us having a great production, from the director to the person that is helping the camera operator, Ipesha, to Temba with dope lines and commentary, to the person that is helping out a multi-choice with everything that we're doing. So it's an understanding that we all play our part. So for me, I totally concur. It's about reaching different heights. It is not about us settling and being like, okay, no, we've achieved this. This is where it ends. I think we all want to achieve different things, but also we need to shatter ceilings, because if we don't do that, then the next generation have nothing to aim for. So we need to do that so that we give them hope about things that they never thought they could achieve. And when they see us doing, they know how far they can push the envelope for themselves. So that's what I want. I want them to envision themselves achieving great things. I want a young girl from Soweto to see herself holding a mic, Supersport, in an international production, and not just limiting herself to doing local productions, because yes, local productions are important, take nothing away from that, but to get to a space where you understand that I could be a global brand, like I was saying. I should not just restrict myself to being a big brand on the African continent.
And the Ballon d'Or choose too.
But by that time would be fluent in French, me and you, of course.
La oui oui.
No,
see.
Temba. It's Masa va bien à toi.
Nog Toto.
Okay. You know, Temba.
Yeah, met Toto.
Temba's French is the one like he told himself. I'd say one of the biggest productions that I've been privileged enough to work on, I'd definitely say the COSAFA, because I think that's a very big regional tournament. And sometimes people tend to underestimate it, but you can't, because of the teams and the nations that then come in and compete at this. Teams we've seen showing great stuff at the COSAFA have managed to go and do amazing things at the African Cup of Nations, do amazing things at the World Cup. So I think when you have not just the eyes of South Africans on you, but you have people on the continent watching you, watching what you're doing, I think that for me honestly eclipses everything that I've done. I think it's a big tournament, and no one can take it as a small tournament.
All right, for me,
So you repeat the question?
no, for me, the highlight, the moment that stands out in all the work that I've done, there's two. Number one, always the MDC. I know now it's called the DDC, but for me that launched me as a leader. It launched me as an individual because it offered me an opportunity to open doors for other people, and that will forever be a moment that I appreciate because it really opened my eyes to my gift and my purpose and my power and my potential. And the other one, I'm a huge fan of African content, guys. I love telling our stories. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. Our stories are powerful. Our stories are important. Our stories are valuable. Our stories deserve to be seen and heard, and I don't think we tell them enough. So
Are these African stories?
These are African stories.
Bling, bling.
Oh.
Yeah, it comes from here.
Oh, okay.
It all comes from here.
Okay.
The gold
I
is
don't
deposited
wear
within.
diamonds. Diamonds killed my ancestors. That's shame. That's shame.
Okay. Temba.
So yeah, so any tournament, whether it's AFCON, COSAFA, DSTV Prem, PSL, Glad Africa, National First Division, those are our stories, and I'm very proud of them. You know, I know we speak a lot about Premier League and Champions League and all these other things, and we tend to have this tendency of undermining our stories and our content.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a very big problem with that. And I'm not saying we mustn't be happy about yes, international stories, but never downplay our stories. You know, you spoke about how you had to ask your mom for money and how she was crying. That's a beautiful story because there's a woman somewhere right now who's probably watching and thinking, how do I make sure that my child gets to where they want to be? Those are our stories, and we need to really start being proud of those stories, you know. And what would I
That's
like
my jeweler.
Jeweler corner.
He sees that your fingers are a bit empty. Good try. Like you say, I was dry.
I was dry. You been dry. You still dry.
Yeah, I've killed them.
What would I still like to achieve?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's simple. I want to live the rest of my life maximizing my potential so that I die empty. It's that simple.
Yeah. Ooh. Child. In the end, when God says, what did you come back with? You're like, I used it all.
I used to know.
I used it all. And then I think that's one of the greatest lines where they say, you know, you need to go to the grave empty, having used everything
Yeah.
that
But
you were
doesn't mean
blessed with.
you fool. Like it was something like
No, but like we're talking talent.
Wow.
We're talking potential. We're talking everything
That's a
else.
dope line, no? That's a dope line. I like that.
Yeah.
It's not my life. Yes, please continue.
Dope line.
Not
Oh, YOLO.
I'm crossing the line now.
So, yeah, in closing,
Yeah.
what is one thing that you'd like to say to your leader? Here she is.
You child. Do we have enough time for this?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna need a new show for this.
No.
I think for me, first and foremost is that, you know, even though you think that you've made it, she always humbles you, and she makes us understand that, you know, this is not for you, but it's for the next generation. And she's honest with us, you know, when you've had a difficult day, she lets you know.
Yes.
And she
Well, she
doesn't.
remind you.
Yeah, no, she has to. Like that thing's gonna be playing in your head even when you go to sleep. And like,
I think that, and
Yeah.
the Joanna, listen.
He's trying to make sure you're good.
I think the support as well, you know, the support that she gives to all of us, not just me, but to all of us as well, and just being there, being you as well, being herself. I think that for me is everything. And thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Non's work is one start. You know, because now you're taking content out of my book. This is by far going to be the most amazing chapter in my book. People are going to buy the book for this particular chapter I'm about to speak about now. My message to Nono is, may you continue being the person you are. May you continue to not be apologetic about your gift. May you continue to be a woman of integrity. I think for me, that is by far the most important thing, when you live your life with integrity and you don't second guess the decisions that you take. May you continue to do what you've done for us, for other people. I always say this for her, and I say, I'm so thankful that you came into my life at the time that you came into my life, because had she not, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now. I think a lot of things would have went wrong. But God, being the God that He is, knew that I needed an angel, and knew that I needed someone that was going to help me not just in my career, in my life as a whole. And that's the role that she has played. So my message to you, Nono, is may continue to do this for other Leratos, because I want to say we want to do it for other generations, but I don't think it will come across in a way that it does when you do it. I don't think we are at that level where we can be other Nonos to other people. She still possesses so much. So it's continue being a woman of power. Continue with the type of leadership style that you have created for yourself that not many people will like. But I can tell you now, the success rate speaks for itself. You don't need to be in that position where people, concur with you all the time. Exactly. But it's about being effective when you are given an opportunity. So I'm just so thankful and I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed to just know you, to just be in your midst. I think when you share a space with Nono, there's just something different. The energy doesn't lie, the aura is there.
Yeah, so true.
So continue. Yeah, this one. Good excellence. But yeah, that's. Don't forget, I'm giving some with the book.
What am I going to say after that?
Guys, the chapter is gonna be fire.
Wait, out of all people.
No,
I thought your pen game was tight.
even
That's the thing, but also he's only taking my lines. So now, finally, you asked me
You got a ghostwriter. You got a ghostwriter.
Let's not get it twisted. I am the line guy.
Yeah.
Like for me, Lerato said such a crucial thing, man. Like always when I work with you, I know my game goes up automatically. When I hear Nono's voice, I'm like, damn it.
Wait. Where's that line I said for the World Cup? I need it now. Like the World Cup is
That World
like
Cup is
today is the World Cup.
Nono's here. So for me, automatic, like your aura.
Yeah.
You have this aura about you, and you are unapologetically you, man. And I think that in itself is a gift, because I think too many people are scared to be authentically themselves.
Yes.
God, we're supposed to stand out. We're created to stand out. I think a lot of people feel as if, particularly with the social media now, we're supposed to fit in.
Yes.
Nah, bruv,
When you stand out, people think there's something wrong
There's
with
something
you.
wrong with
But
you.
actually, that's the way you should go.
You should stand out. I mean, God made you in His image. God stands out above everything.
Yeah.
So now you cannot come here and want to fit in.
Is that God? Sorry?
Yeah, that was him.
Of course.
Get God on the phone.
Just about done, my son. There's a space for you, never know. So yeah, man. Like, and even the conversations that we have, away from cameras and people, like genuine conversations, and your spirituality as well. Like for me, that's your core and that's your anchor. You man, you power, man. You power, and I say power. Do you count how many times you use the word power? I counted.
Sure.
In the space of 2 minutes, you said power 7 times. That's who you are.
Can we get another hour? Who's the producer of the show? We are not done.
Don't worry, I'm everything.
You're
Yeah.
okay.
And then he's the director.
He's the director.
Okay.
It's only the two of us. May I approve everything?
Guys, we're not thinking. We're not watching.
If I say it goes, it happens. Even this part won't be cut.
Okay.
Please, we need this as
Yeah.
authentic as as
Yeah,
possible.
no,
But
it'll
thank
be-
you so much. I think when I watch the YouTube shows, and I always think, oh my goodness, there's like a big team behind it because of its crisp. It's very beautiful. It's nice. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's two men. Shout out Bongani. No, thank you very much, Nora. These are the ones that you have led,
Chosen ones.
guided, and
If not us, then
Special
who?
one. If not now, then
When?
how do you feel about the remarks?
Humbled, grateful, and I think for me, their words really validate the fact that I'm doing something right, and by being true to myself, by being true to the vision, I'm headed towards the right direction. And yes, I don't need the affirmation because I must be authentic to the vision that I've been given as a person, but it's hearing things like this is the wind beneath my wings, and I don't take it lightly, because these are people who really have to, when the cameras are not here, they really have to deal with me.
yeah.
They really have to deal with me, and I'm telling you, when I'm saying I'm not happy,
Yeah.
it's not cute. It's not like this setup, you know. When I go off at Lerato, I'm like, Lerato, you're not performing. You're not giving me what I want. You're not asking the relevant questions. I don't even know why you asked this question. I don't like you showing up here unprepared, not ready. Do you understand what it is that we are doing today? You know, when I go off at Temba and I'm like, listen here, you did not even understand the storyline or the concept of what we're trying to achieve today. It's not cute and it's not easy.
Mr. Lyons.
It's not
Can't hear it
easy
all the time.
hearing things like that. You know, just as it's not easy for me sometimes to be saying those things to them, but those are things that have to be said sometimes, because we have very difficult conversations with one another, and they are honest conversations, and they're not meant for harm. And yes, I've lost a lot of people along the way because other people felt like, oh my gosh, like why is she being like that? But for us to have the relationships that we do, for us to even work together like we do, it's because we have those honest relationships. And it's not only one way, by the way, because they also, we share, you know.
Yeah.
So even when we are having difficult days, we say that to each other.
Yeah.
Say, today is a difficult day.
Yeah.
I'm struggling here and here and here and here.
Yes.
You know, so I'm grateful. I receive their love, and I know that it's genuine. I think for me that's the most important thing. I love these people. I think they know that, and you can see on their faces.
Yes. Even though I wasn't smiling back.
And you also heard, you know, she's always correcting her and him. I'm okay.
I just want to say, but let me handle it.
Yeah. It's like a no.
But let me handle it. This is my sensitive child. So when I deal with him, I deal with him, you know.
It has to be special.
You know,
Wait,
quietly.
so let me tell you, so I was the type of player, every time he loses the ball, so you pass him as a coach, you don't shout at him and go, how are you losing the ball? No, you tell Lerato, don't pass him.
Yeah.
Don't pass Karabo, pass Tembo.
Yeah.
Tembo know what to, so
Yeah.
you don't deal with him, because Karabo then, he's going to give you a pop second half, and the game is going to end, and he's going to be the first
Yes,
one crying.
and then now he's grumpy and
now he's
angry.
grumpy.
So I understand. So this is my sensitive child.
Leadership.
I know how to deal with him.
Yeah.
I know how to correct him.
Yeah.
And I will not make an example of him right now because he's my sensitive child.
Very sensitive.
Not in this, yeah?
It's gonna stay.
The producer slash script writer slash everything just said. It is saying.
Everything. Who's the producer here? Who approves?
Who pressed the send button?
No. Thank you very much, guys, for coming through. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And, you know, one of the things that I've always wanted to do with my platform is do things that have not been done before, you know, and create episodes which are thought-provoking and get behind the scenes with the people who are behind the scenes. Nobody ever does that.
Yeah.
Now that's a line. But yeah, so for me, it's always been important to document history. You know, people just look at these as conversations and then we just post it up. No, it's not. This is documenting history for generations to come. Like you guys speak of your kids and your kids' kids. You know, so thank you very much for trusting Disky Talk with Leola, and thank you very much for coming through, guys. Really enjoyed
Got a
the
line for you.
conversation.
It's not history.
Yeah.
His story.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, that one's generic. I know that one.
Yeah, but as well, I think, you know, just before we close your platform as well, I'm following
Correct.
it
Yes.
at Kevin Hunt a couple of months ago.
But I already mentioned that he had Kevin Hunt.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
What is the point?
Yes. Shout out to
Don't be spicy.
But yeah, also doing good.
Yeah, you are.
You are.
Keep working, and you know, it looks like you also want to be the part of the world of champions, and may God also, you know, make your path right and keep on working. Don't ever give up. And, you'll get there. You'll get there.
Listen
What does this
to
mean?
my great grandchildren that are going to be watching this. They're down the line. Y'all must know your grandmother was a G. She was a G, y'all.
Gianni Infantino's calling me FIFA president. G, talk to you later, Pete. Doing a podcast, alright?
You know, we are global. I think with this platform, you know, we are global. And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You speak about honest conversations, and I look at this room and I feel like you have the most genuine souls out there. And I think today we came out here not to sell stories, not to try and lie to people, but to be as authentic as we possibly can be, because sometimes people don't get to see this side of us, because every time they see us, it's work. You know, so there's a certain level that we need to portray. But today we're very chilled, you know, I was not in a tight suit. You know, and today we're just taking it easy and we're being honest individuals, and I don't think anything can get better than that. So thank you so much for having us.
Shout out, Bombs.
Yeah.
Love your work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, we still in see each other.
Yeah.
3, 4.
7 episodes deep.
It was lovely having you on. When you get that book.
I don't like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Sorry?
don't have my favorite.
Sorry? I mustn't hug her.
No, don't hug it.
Hug's great. Hug it.
Don't touch. Don't touch it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was yet another special episode of Disky Talk with Leon. But before we close, it's not rapala. Let's tell us
Nah, guys, you guys can afford me, guys. You can't afford me. Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm super satanic, super satanic, so ironic, I'm done.
So, that was yet another special episode of Disky Talk with Leon with Broadcasting Royalty. 3, 2, 1, and
Signing out!
Get out of here, man.